Hi, everyone. I'm Heather DiFrusicia, the Associate Director of RTSM IWRS here at Axiom Real-Time Metrics. And I'm here with Andrew Schachter, our CEO and founder, to talk to you today about the data-driven studies using our unified eClinical platform to run your clinical trials. We're going to touch on a couple different areas, including the EDC, RTSM, ePRO, and CTMS. And how to increase efficiencies throughout. So I'm just going to hand things over to Andrew here, and just a couple of quick highlights. Studies completed 700 plus, largest randomized trial is 40,000 subjects. We have therapeutic area experience in 35 plus areas, and we've been driving studies for 19, almost 20 years. So Andrew, take it away.
Thanks, Heather, appreciate the introduction. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are in the world. Wanted to introduce you to our session today, talk about unified eClinical platforms and changing how you run studies. For a little bit of background, Axiom created Fusion almost 20 years ago, comprising of EDC and data management and RTSM, quickly added CTMS, ePRO, and many other modules, and we'll give you a brief overview of what that looks like. Next. So Fusion's a unified eClinical platform. The goal behind that is to bring together all access into your data into a single sign-on. And of course, there are many categories to potential data. You might be running studies with ePRO, you might want your safety integrated, your CTMS, and of course, one of the most critical aspects is your RTSM.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. So on the IWRS RTSM, that's everything relating to randomization, cohort management, as well as inventory management. And of course, having that all in one place allows for the full integration. The data is able to talk to each other, and we'll talk about all of the benefits of that. But of course, the other aspect is that we can provide it as a standalone module, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well.
Thanks, Heather. In relation to building technology, you often need the requirements, of course, to get the work done. So Axiom started creating services back 20 years ago, and we started life in data management and data analytics, the ability to, of course, capture, clean in real time, and of course, analyze the data that's moving forward. And over the years, we added biostats, pharmacovigilance, and clinical management into our family, so our clients can choose where they need help, and we'll help them solve their problems in front of them on a study basis. Next. So we're going to talk to you today about the theme of where is your critical information and how do you work with it? And of course, EDC, CTMS, inventory and randomization, of course, and finding your risks within your study are the heart of getting that done. Next. So how do you bring it all together? How do you start thinking differently about how you handle your clinical data? We know in our space, we started life doing EDC, which was the goal of getting rid of paper in a clinical study. And that theme has transcended the industry. It has made us better at what we do in research. But at Axiom, we believe in this perspective of a connected hub for all of your study data, where everything is in one place. Next. To that end, it means that every single piece of data is streamlined for you. And instead of spending your time collating data and information, you're able to click into it one place and look at all the things that you need to do to manage your program. Next. So what's your current scenario? Because there are a lot that look just like this, where EDC, IWRS, ePRO, Central Lab, and so many other tools are all individual sign-ons. And you know the chaos that creates. It puts an environment in front of you where you have to now go into every single system to know exactly what's going on with your study.
The other aspect is that, specifically talking about IWRS, then there's either redundant data entry required in order for randomization to know that the subject truly is eligible. If you don't have that integration with EDC, as well as the inventory piece and calculating, should you be enrolling the subject? Do you have sufficient inventory on site? And of course, the list goes on.
And to Heather's point, at the end of the day, that piece of information that you don't know means that you don't have integrated dashboards about what's happening in the study. And so many things we know are interconnected with each other. As Heather mentioned, where's the inventory aspect? Does the site know where the inventory aspect is? And there's so many factors that change your ability to manage a program. And therefore, you can't see those intertwined risks if the data is not speaking to each other and therefore outputting to you reports that make it easy to manage. Next. Of course, building on that theme, the idea of working with data. When you think about the medical monitor who wants to pull a listing across the data that includes the central lab data, the patient data, the ePRO data, and so forth, people have to spend time integrating all of this information. It slows the process down and it slows clinical research down. Next. Of course, we know the results from a site perspective. Give anybody 5 logons to do on a daily basis, it makes their life that much harder. So coordinators, of course, now have to manage a significantly different number of access points for them to be able to understand how they're managing the study every single day. The more of a burden it has on the sites, we know it slows down the research locally. Next.
And just as I noted, just to jump in for a moment, as I noted earlier, that the data entry, if it's not talking to each other directly, then that means that someone's going to need to input it in that other system. So that, again, adds to the burden on the coordinators. So we can make that more efficient by using a unified platform.
Thanks, Heather. And of course, you can see a theme. The theme, by the way, is by using the word of course. So we'll hopefully delete that from this presentation. But moving on from that, the fundamental idea of, as a sponsor team, you just don't have access to all the information that would make the team's life that much easier to run. And of course, that means not enhancing how you're running the study, being more efficient in getting it done. And the reality is that the team could actually probably manage a higher volume of studies than they do when they're spending time collating and managing information that's not valuable. If it was in a central place in one system and they have access to it all the time, that time can be reinvested in either better management of the study or management of another study. Next. So where does this take you? Where do you go from here? Next. It's about being in a place where you have access to every piece of data, dashboards to manage it, and reports that pull together all the essential information. Next. For us, that translates into a list that looks like this. We believe that data-driven studies should enable you to have 24 access to all the critical information, unified awareness of the things we know that run studies, EDC, inventory, RTSM, CTMS, and so forth, and access into the entire data stream. That instead of calling up this person, that organization to get the data, all of it should be together for you to be able to manage. And that relates, of course, to whoever you partner with and work with. You want to know what's going on in the work. Are my monitoring visits up to date? Are the sites doing what they need to do? Have the patients put in all of their ePRO data? That's my primary endpoint. So for us, centralized reporting is at the top of the food chain. We want to have access to it all the time, and it feeds down from there, the data, the modules, and the services. That's what a data-driven study looks like. So how does it change how you manage your studies? Next. It's about owning the data relationship and all the benefits that flow from there. They're enormous. Centralized access into your data, next, translates into something that looks like this. Dashboards into all the information that's in front of you, a stamp of awareness of every single thing that's going on, your projected enrollment, as an example, the one of the bane of calculation among study managers around the world, and probably most importantly, seamless data analysis. All of the fundamental data that goes into your study in one place, and have the ability to do that analysis in real time. All of that type of information should be something that enables you to do a better job of managing your studies and delivering stronger and faster results. Next. We've touched on the majority of these themes, so I won't spend much time here other than to say it's about changing the paradigm of how you run your studies and considering the ways in which there's lost time that doesn't benefit the program overall. Next. Just for a little snapshot on background about us, we've been running clinical studies, as you know, for just over 19 years. And we run both clinical programs as well as observational programs. And we're in a great position to help you with both. Next.
And when we're talking about the configuration options, thanks, Andrea. So our central theme is talking about unified platforms. However, we understand that sometimes you're using, you only need certain modules. So the flexibility is also key. So you can use those selected modules, say randomization and inventory alone, but still make those integrations to allow them to talk to each other. Or you can use that the innate integration as part of our platform and use the EDC and the selected modules, or our third option being the full suite. And of course, again, everything being fully integrated and unified means that you're going to have all of those benefits of that type of platform.
Guys, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you spend your time today, we really appreciate you spending some time with us. Heather, thank you for saving me on this presentation with the contributions. And we appreciate you spending some time with us and look forward to answering your questions. You can reach us at solutions@axiom.cc. We'd be thrilled to have a virtual cup of coffee with you or meet in person just to talk about how a unified platform can change your programs and improve how you run your research, speed up your database locks, and ultimately give you higher quality, better results. Thanks so much.
Thanks, everyone.